Why hello there beautiful people and welcome to OTT. Now we all know that drifting started off in the hills of Japan, and over its time it's evolved and grown and spread around the world to the point where now we can officially call it a sport. It's touched every single nation on the planet and it's reached an unbelievable amount of people, with each person's and each nation's take on drifting being different, reflecting on their personality and even down to the way they drift the car, all varying in so many beautiful ways. Now this is more a video just outlining how my passion grew, where it came from, and I'm sure a lot of us share a similar experience, although with a different path in between. Most of the time, drifting as a bug and as I can almost say is an addiction starts when you first ever lose control of a car. The moment when the back end comes out, and for that microsecond you are drifting, and for some reason, even though you're facing the wrong way at the exit of the corner and you have clearly made a mistake, something about that experience just makes you want to try and perfect it. Because drifting, as seen by a lot of people, maybe considering the outside of the community, would consider drifting to be a dark art, and for many well-skilled drifters being considered to be wizards by the mainstream driving community. Now even people that are beginning to start drifting even might feel that way as well. Now of course there are science and there are mathematics behind drifting, and it's part of engineering and it's part of just physics. It's a grip to power to speed to it's a formula almost. But if it was an exacting science, then it wouldn't be so mystical, it wouldn't be such a dark art. Now the first time you ever spin out, you encounter this dark art, and there's something about it that just makes you want to keep going and progressing until you master it. And that is what drifting has been the story of my life since that one moment. And I spent the rest of my life cursed to try and perfect it. Now, despite what some people might say, drifting isn't necessarily have to be done in a specific way. But there are a lot of techniques and a lot of things that people share to do the same thing, to get the same result. But the way you get there can be completely individual and be unlike anyone else's. So when people are out there saying, how much angle do you get, how fast were you going, it's not about that. It's not about how fast, how much power your car has got. It's not about how much smoke you're kicking out. Sure, it might look good and it might make you whoop and holler, but from a driving point of view, from being the person playing with the dark arts, it's more about, for me personally, the momentum, the way it flows. Because the only way I can describe it is you are performing a dance with a piece of machinery, with pieces of metal, a rather intelligent piece of metal, with a rather flimsy stupid human behind the wheel. And for that time while you're drifting, I've never felt so connected with anything that isn't human. You are going sideways, you are messing with the laws of physics, you are balancing on such a fine line most of the time, because drifting is such a dark art, that you're mesmerised. It really does cause you to just go into your own, it's just magical space. People have touched upon this before, and I think I have as well in a recent video. When you're in that moment, that space, that nothing else matters. You could have a UFO landing right next to you, and if you're truly into the drift and you're really communicating with that piece of machinery, then nothing else truly matters. Sometimes it's not even, for an experienced drifter, you get to that stage, sometimes it's not even about you because you're concentrating that much, because it's almost second nature, it's muscle memory. You're talking to the car without thinking, your body is just entwined with the car. And that's a beautiful dance, which gets put on one step further. When you start tandeming, when you tandem with another car, you come across another drifter that is equal to your ability, then it is literally watching a dance. You're watching a dance between a flawed human and a spectacular machine working together, but not only that, having a pair of them working together, dancing on the edge, being in control of the lunacy, because that is what it all boils down to. Drifting is an out of control car being controlled. Now every time I say that, I've known this throughout my life. Drifting is out of control but in control. There is a science to the madness, but there is still that area, that part of the brain that just can't accept it. You're doing a dance with something magical, and what we are considered, well, experienced drifters are considered to be wizards by the mainstream community. I can almost agree with it, even to this day, and I've been drifting for a long time, and it's something that I'll never stop chasing and striving to perfect. Controlling that dark art is something that will be my challenge to my grave. That's why I take it so personally to try and help people drift in video games, because drifting is something that I think the main barrier to entry is learning how to set it up, how to get that car set up to encourage drifting. So just remember, it's not about how fast you are going, it's not about how much smoke, it's not about the angle. You don't have to conform to the certain specific formula. Do it your way. I'm here as a in-between. I'm here to try and help get you onto your own road of learning how to be a drifter, or how to just simply enjoy it and experience as many different ways of drifting as possible. You can always stick to the same old plain bread, same old sandwich, you know, and just stick with it, because it is a lovely thing. But I believe drifting, as it's shown us, the way the world has embraced it and changed it and evolved, shows that maybe we shouldn't be so concerned with everything. I'm here to give you the setups, because that is the hardest barrier to entry with video game drifting, especially with simulators, real simulators. No jokes in this video, I haven't got time for it. That's why my setups are here, and my tutorials, to try and help you, try and give you that kickstart. Because drifting is a experience and a road that you're going to have to walk down on your own for the most of it. And I wouldn't have it any other way. For me personally, I learnt from speaking to the car. It is a dance, and you need to know your partner. So yes, for all of us drift nuts, as many people refer us to, maybe we're just addicts that aren't really ready to admit it, or maybe it really is this magical wizardry, and we are literally under the spell of something that we cannot comprehend. But it's a dark art that I shall forever try and master. And to take a quick pop shot, being a YouTuber at the end of this video, I'm just going to call out a few people and say, maybe a few of you drifting YouTubers are really just doing it for the show. It's all very well being known as a drifter, because you might think it's cool. I didn't get into it because it was cool. As I've already just expressed, it's a dark art and a passion and a beautiful thing that I'm in love with. And if you were ever in any doubt of that, I hope that is no longer the case. And maybe take another look at some other drifting certain YouTubers out there who call themselves drifters. You can do it to be popular, or you can do it for yourself. That is the whole point of this video. I know it might not seem like it throughout it, but it was leading to something. Drifting is about making it your own. That is the way it's always been from every country it's touched. Yes, there are the Joneses that will always inevitably drift in whatever blah blah vehicle, but that isn't what most of us do. Each car has its own characteristics. Everyone has their own definition of good, what makes a good drift car. The only question as a drifter we should ever be worried about is, am I enjoying this car to drift? It's such a simple question. So one thing I do want you to take away is, do it your way. I'm here to help and to kickstart you and to give you the setups. Because on a side note, gaming, as I've already mentioned, drifting, making the setups is the main barrier to entry for most people to drift on video games, especially when it comes to real simulators. So I'm here to be the in-between man Drifting is a passion that I'm going to forever spend my life chasing and trying to perfect, in the real world and virtual. So, when it comes to it, I'm here to help. I'm not here to give everyone one-on-one drifting lessons, because that is impossible. I cannot do that. It's too many people. But I'm here to help, and that means more to me than making it e-famous or what some people might consider. I am here for the pure love of drifting. For some people hard to believe, for some unbelievably understandable. Do it your way. Keep going sideways, and don't stop until the tyre explodes. Life is too short to care what people think of you. We might be considered the weirdos, wizards by mainstream, but that doesn't really matter. It's all about your life, your experience that matters. If you want to drift a certain car, do it. Why should anyone tell you any different? Have fun. That's the important thing. I love you as always. I'll see you in the next video. For now, goodbye.